Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to our workshop and briefings day, being the 12th of March, 2025. It feels like this year is ripping past in great haste. So our open workshop today is Local Water Done Well consultation document, a matter that we're all knees deep in, obviously, to varying degrees, but lovely to see you all with us here this morning. We have obviously Lisa and Sharon to present the paper to us. The papers will be appearing obviously in our agenda on page 23 onwards. So nice to see you, ladies. I shall pass the speaking rights over to you both and look forward to you going through this paper with us. Good morning.
Good morning. So today we just want to run through the consultation document that's drafted up. So this is leading on from our council decision for our preferred option on the 26th of February in regards to Waikato Water's Done Well. So we're consulting under the water legislation, not under the Local Government Act. So very much focused on our preferred decision. In the memo, you'll note that we had our consultation dates from the 21st of March to the 21st of April. So those will likely change and they will still align with the LTP when we go out for that. So that you'll be notified of those dates, obviously in due course when we know what they are. So I'll hand over to Lisa and she will run us through the document. You've obviously got the Word version of it, but we've been very lucky that the marked up versions actually arrived. So you'll get a look and feel of what that looks like.
So hot off the press, the ink is actually still drying. It only arrived this morning, so it very much is in draft mode, but it will give you a flavour. I know when you look at a Word document, it's very much, oh my goodness, that's a lot of words, but when it gets laid up, it kind of puts another layer on it. So good morning, everybody. The document before you for review today really is a collaborative effort. It's been informed internally by a wealth of work undertaken by our subject matter experts, Dawn, Sharon, Carl and Carl. There has also been a lot of collaboration with the 6 other councils who have signed up to the Waikato Water Done Well non-binding heads of agreement. The 7 CEs have spent some time on reaching a consensus that will help ensure consistency of messaging across the consultation periods across the Waikato region and ensuring that Waikato Water Done Well is presented in a fair and fact-based way so all of our communities can provide well-informed feedback. You'll notice throughout the draft that you received that there are design elements that have been brought in from the Waikato Water Done Well draft. It is the intention that all councils consulting on the regional CCO model use the same design to reinforce the consistency and approach. The project governance group on Friday provided initial feedback and I thank Monty and Claire for their contributions. Last but not least, it has been through a legal review with Simpson Grierson, given we are working under a new piece of legislation that has different requirements to the Local Government Act, which Sharon just touched on. And that's the act, of course, that we're used to consulting with our communities under. The legal review placed emphasis on ensuring we particularly highlight that we are consulting on our preferred model. This is a deliberate mechanism of the Water Services Preliminary Arrangements Act 2024 in that it aims to streamline the consultation process. It is relevant to note at this point that there is no requirement for us to consult with the community on the water services delivery plan itself. It is also relevant to highlight that as an organisation, we are at the leading edge of major change. As an early adopter, we really are cutting the track for our colleagues to follow. And I've had a number of comms people from the other 6 councils reach out wanting to ensure that to see what we're doing, which is always good. As such, your governance input today is incredibly valuable. It is you that know your communities best and your guidance is appreciated. It's not my intention today to go through the consultation document page by page, but I do welcome your feedback. Sorry, if you could just pop the drum roll, please. So as I said, this is hot off the press. The reason that it's gone to design before the workshop today is purely because of timeframes. The feedback that we received today will be fed into the document to go to agenda on Friday for adoption on Wednesday next week. We're trying to stick to our original timeframes as much as possible, just to give us a head start in terms of printing and collateral and the other aspects of the organisation we have to do for engagement. Also, we would like to be using some of the information in here as our pre-engagement opportunities, which we're now looking at. Some of the activities or meetings that we have booked are unfortunately immovable, so we will use those as pre-engagement opportunities before starting engagement proper. So just flicking through, it will give you a flavour of what the document will look like once it's laid out, using imagery and pop-out boxes to highlight the things that we think are most important for our community, using infographics, showing the force of the 7 or the Super 7 as they are now named. A table and what's in it for me as a ratepayer. The dollars and cents, which is always probably the most difficult part to make look interesting. Please note that there has been some updates to this. It is in your pack and your review document today, but some of the figures have been updated since that was sent out to you. That's probably my favourite page out of the whole document, I think.
How to tell a complex story in simple terms.
Very complex, very technical. And then the submission form. So I'll hand back to you, Your Worship.
It certainly thanks, Lisa. It certainly brings life to it. You're right, from just the words on the page, and yeah, more readability, usability, understandability. All those things come with that formatting addition. So thank you for that. You're just happy to take questions and queries, observations from people in respect of the document. Obviously, it has been through an awful lot of work, but really keen to understand what people's thoughts are around the document. Mike.
Thanks for that, through the chair, Mayor. Great document. I'm just wondering, we consulted with iwi, and I know it has several, there's more than one iwi in our rohi, and there's obviously several marae, etc. But there was nothing in there. It'd be good to get a statement from iwi supporting this. But would that just be pie in the sky, or would that be a reality? I mean, obviously a time frame issue now. Maybe it's something we should have picked up on earlier, to be fair. But
rather than putting Hinerangi under the spot, can I just maybe respond to that first, Hinerangi?
Go.
Yeah. So we have had this conversation before in chamber, and we've taken the direction from the iwi Chairs Forum to get it to this stage. We talked about it at the Waikato Tainui JMA very briefly last week. There's now the opportunity and the need for us to go and talk with the iwi directly, because they've said get to a point and then come and have a talk to us when you've done all your local government churn stuff. And then come and have a talk to us when you've got something to talk about. So now is the hour to get out, and you're absolutely right, Mike, to get out and talk. And I've been preempting those conversations, reaching out to CEs and to say the Mayor and I would like to come and have a chat with you about these and that you know where we're at. We've been trying to do that informally to date, but it definitely feels that that is the case. And each council of the Super 7 at the moment is having those conversations individually. For some iwi, that means they're having multiple conversations about the same issue, which is a bit of a drag. But that is the absolute priority. And I wanted Hinerangi to hear that too from that perspective. It is important. I'll leave it there. I think that's the direction we were given, and that's the direction we've been taking.
Thank you for that.
Kia ora through you, Madam Chair. Tēnā tātou e te whānau. I think it's entirely appropriate that mana whenua have make a statement in there. I think it's completely appropriate, and I absolutely support that. And yeah, I agree with Steph. There's some conversations to be had about which iwi is the appropriate iwi to give the statement.
Yeah, and possibly there are multiple statements.
Maybe part of the conversation, right? Ka pai. Kia ora tātou.
Great question, Mike. Any other questions for these fine women? Claire?
Yeah, thanks. I love the look of your formatted document. Yeah, Lisa, it looks really easy to follow, and I agree that it's a really complex story in the way you've been able to convey it in a simple way. I think, yeah, congratulations to you there. There are just a few very minor points that I picked up in this version of the document. The biggest one, I think, is about the potential pros of the second option, which is the future-proof one. It states, this is on page 39 of our agenda, that it would be more easily to respond to future boundary changes or reduce the need for boundary changes. So I think it actually should be, rather than boundary, invoicing, like billing changes, because the CCO situation isn't the thing that changes the boundaries. It's district councils and city councils that change that. So, I know we talked about this in a workshop about the complexities of that part of the district, especially with the growth that's forecast. And the things we talked about were servicing agreements and billing. Yeah, so I just wanted to be clear about that. I have raised with you before that there was assurance given at that workshop that actually the complexities were completely workable. Yeah, that there were examples where that sort of thing is being done in other parts of the country, and yeah, I was wondering whether or not it should be listed as a potential pro or a potential con somewhere else. Yeah, so that's just one point. The other points were on page 27 about affordability, and you're talking about the 2% of household income. Should it be 2% of average household income? It's just that if I was reading that and think, well, what's my household income? So it's only going to be 2% of that, but actually it's a district-wide or a broader term. Yeah, it's about the average. Yeah.
Thank you, Claire. Good pick up. It's the median household.
Oh, median. Yeah. So just because when people are trying to work out how to support something and they're thinking about how it affects me, yeah, we don't want them to jump into the wrong conclusion. And then on page 32, this is what does it mean for me? I really like the introduction of this table, and I think it's a standard table from the Waikato Water Done Well thing. Yeah, so there's a couple of things in there that I wasn't sure if they were accurate. On the second to last line, that's what will it cost? And under the CCO model, it says that significant savings begin to be made after 10 years. Yet later on, it talks about a comparison with the LTP figures, and it shows that there are savings already. I thought that it's kind of underselling it, actually. It might be the significant savings, I don't know, but what I'm worried about is painting the picture that it's going to be a long time before you're going to get a benefit financially. I think I'd really like it, I suppose, couched in a way that we're pretty confident that actually it'll make good sense, pretty much straight away. Yeah. Yeah. So if you see what I mean, not necessarily that the savings will be significant, but it will make good sense financially. Yeah. Yeah. And then the second point on that page was the last line, and on the right-hand column, it's just that, yes, if you don't already receive, yeah. So, I mean, well, Waipa already, we do receive a a separate invoice. So I don't know whether or not that could be, yeah, I know it's a standard form. Yeah, that's all.
So would we change that? I realise that consistency required, but would we change that? 'Cause it doesn't make any sense to us. Because you do get,
Yes, we will.
yeah,
Yes,
cool,
we
awesome,
will.
cool.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we have the ability to change. Yeah,
Cool.
given that we're one of the few councils that are currently metered as well, so
Yeah.
our charging regime's a little bit different to others.
Awesome, cool, thank you. Roger, did you have your hand up?
Through you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I like the document. I think considering that the version that we had to go through is all words, great to see it in picture form as to how it's going to be. My one question regarding that is, what's the distribution that sits behind it? Now, I know that you'll be printing off a number here and it'll be on the website, but just that sector of our community that perhaps don't have the technology to access electronic versions, etc., how are we going to get out to that 20–25% of the population that I think it's, to them, a lot of them, it'll be quite critical because of their limited income base.
Absolutely agree, Roger, and very good point. So what we're planning to do at this stage is, given the significance of the Waters decision and the LTP going at the same time,
Yeah,
is to do a 4-page newsprint, kind of like a mini newspaper that will be distributed to every household
Household.
in Waipa. And we also have gathered a database of out-of-town ratepayers so we can reach them as well.
great, good, thank you. And the other thing, just the where you've got that rates chart and you've got the next 3 years and the water charges per residential connection. I'm wondering, I know why the reason is that the figures for 2024, 2025 are the same, because we know that Three Waters is not being introduced until the 1st of July 2025. I'm just wondering whether, just a small explanation, that the impact of the charges will not be seen until year 2 as far as that box is concerned. Is that relevant? Yeah, goody.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Monty?
Hey, Lisa, I really like this document. It looks great. Well done. And we had quite a discussion in the governance group on it, on the pricing bit. And I really like the words you guys have come up with there. Just one tiny one from me on page 2, where you outline the 3 options. We had pointed out that they're all asset owning CCOs. Now, I couldn't see as you flicked past, it went past so fast, I couldn't see if that amendment had made it through. Page 2.
Sorry, Monty, I thought I put a line in there. I will double check that and make sure that it applies to all 3 options.
Thanks.
Thanks, Monty. Any other questions or observations to be made about the paper? Look, look, echo everybody else's sentiment. It looks great. Yeah, it is a very technical and probably not particularly well understood service that we provide to our communities, I think, in general terms. It's just almost taken for granted. So really challenging to an easy and clear and succinct way explain pretty sophisticated concepts, propositions in terms of reform, and then the reasons that we've applied to our thinking in order to arrive at a preferred option. So yeah, really, a really complex document to pull together. I think you've done a great job, and certainly the crowning glory is the visuals, right? Looks great. So I look forward to seeing that in all its final full glory once it's complete. So anything further in respect of this? You didn't want to add anything, Carl's got nothing to add?
I just think on behalf of the staff, I want to thank the staff because we're the first out of the blocks.
a real seminal piece of work and trying to tie it in with 6 other councils is a real challenge. But I want to thank the team because I think they've done a stellar job. Thank you, Mayor Susan. But I want to thank the PGG because the councillors on the PGG did some amazing work, really thought about it and came back and really tested thinking and the way we were communicating the key messages. So I just want to really acknowledge the work that the PGG members have put into it too. So thank you. So I think we're our value is we're better together and we're certainly better together. So thank you.
Fabulous. Well, thank you, ladies. And that brings our open workshop day to a conclusion. Thank you. We'll see